no matter how harmful it may be. Oh, yeah, justified coming after me and threatening to take my children from me justifies it all the way. It's because you said some things, you were threatening. I didn't do these threats that they were talking about. They never heard from me. And they justified their actions, and still to this day, they've not taken that off the table. And neither has my ex-wife. I have text messages. I have enough on you to take you down. I've contacted my lawyers. You will stop this right now. This from a guy who beat her kid to the point child services would call. So my ex-wife, she looks at the leader, can do no wrong. I had my kids, they confronted her. They said, is it true that he was oh, there's some excuse. Oh, he was yelling loud or something, and the neighbors called or something like that. Some lie. The leader is the only source of the truth. Everybody else is lying. Well, there you go. These are warning signs of a cult. Number 5, followers must be blindly devoted to the leader and never question him or her. My ex does not question why there's no money coming in, why she's not wealth building for other mamas. She's used the term mamas all the time. It's this thing that appeals to women who probably have a difficult time at home. Yeah, maybe. Maybe they feel dominated by the man. Maybe my ex felt dominated by me. True. Perception-wise. Reality-wise, I am there in support, backing up or going to therapy or whatever it takes. That's who this guy is. I can't speak for other guys. And I understand the history of the world. Men are dominant creatures. But what's weird is it's a woman who creates every penis. That's a fact. But there's this underlying resentment that is historical, and it's built up. And I get it, because big time feminist my whole life served me no good purpose. And I'm still very compassionate, empathetic towards women, 100%. I shouldn't say 100% because there's so much a part of me that has to have compassion and empathy for me and for men. And this pendulum has swung so far, Me Too movement, bad date gets included. So now we get that label affixed to us, and there's no getting out of it. So I'm the abuser, the bully, bad guy, all of that. And who are they going to believe? This big, successful 6'2", 220-pound man with a big mouth, followers? Or are you going to believe the meek one, the quiet one, the one who puts out love messages, the one who dances on camera, the one who puts filters on the camera and makes sure that she has this beautiful light around her, the flowers, naming herself Lotus, all of that stuff? Who are you going to believe? That's obvious. And the con artists know that. The last one is the members won't recognize they are in a cult. Huh. Well, there you go. I've said it numerous times to Lotus. It's a cult. Can't tell me otherwise. You can't tell me that you are following this woman and left our family, and your own children tell you all the time that that's what you did. Doesn't mean anything because the cult is that powerful, and that's that much more. It's more important than the family. She took the interest of this woman using Lotus to be on the downline and all that kind of stuff, and promoting her orgasm programs and BDSM. She poses with a riding crop, and there's all of that I have to worry about, that messaging getting to my children, the dominance. I'm going to read, coming up in the next episode, I'm going to read the post that this woman has done, the leader has done. So it's not like people say you'd be sued. I can't be sued if all of this is fact. It's just fact. I will read it to you, and it's up to you from there. Maybe you might say, I want to join. You want to join her with her sovereign freedom and get out of your golden cage. All this other terminology that hits vulnerable people. That's how cult leaders work. My dad was a cult leader. I know you're laughing. Oh boy, this guy. Yeah, my life is a weird one. It's also, I really dig the fulfilling parts of getting better, of the wellness, of the healing, of the processes that take place. To not just, that's my lot in life. Oh, it happened again. Yeah, look at that repeat. And now the two ex-wives accuse me of this. Da, da, da. You know, both do it in different ways, but it's still the basic same thing. Luckily, these children were old enough, have enough experience with me, as opposed to the other ones were young and influenced, and police stations and lawyers and minors counselors. That was their life. They have PTSD to this day. I feel really bad for them. Nothing I can do, though. See, that rescue boy, I can't do anything about it. I can ask that other people might, maybe if they're listening and they know them, they might say to them, hey, just meet with your dad or meet with a neutral party. I always offer that to everyone because I have nothing to hide. And as far as these things go, unfortunately, these children have witnessed it. And they're very clear, by the way. They are very, very clear on the things that have taken place. They witnessed violence numerous times. They were kidnapped twice. They witnessed snapping out by their mom, tantrums. They witnessed complete disassociation, walking out of rooms in the middle of conversations, just so mean. You just stand there going, hey, can you please not go? Right? Can you please not? No, doesn't matter how I couch it. She's going to go. She can cut off. I used to call it the face. She put this face on. She went from the most beautiful woman in the world to the ugliest woman in the world. Completely cut off. And it felt like demonic possession. And listen, it happens. That's the ego in some of us. Like, you don't think it can happen to you. Of course it can happen. My ego told me it couldn't happen, especially with her. Was I fooled? I don't know. So one time, this is when this was when things got really rough and I started to get out of denial about how powerful the first cult was. Like I said, this broke took her to this Year to Millionaire, and I saw a scam right away. I told her that, but I endorsed it. You pay $10,000, $20,000, and you go into a mansion with this Raven coaches you and teaches you how to be a millionaire. 1 month, you move in with her. And one thing about my ex-wife, she's so dedicated. When she gets into something, she got into it. She was like listening to this woman, buying her food and feeding her, turned into this whole crazy control thing, of which Broke was like the co-sponsor of this. Her husband was directing this thing, and it sounded conceptually like it was kind of cool. It was going to be a reality show on how to be a millionaire. Conceptually, it sounded good. That's the thing about con artists. They sound good. It's a nice little program that they present. It's a pitch. They're pitching all the time and they're bragging. And when you uncover it, which I have friends who are like lawyers, they'll always uncover, whereas I'm naive. And I was naive with that of course, my Lotus was really naive, dove in. And there was no mansion. Here I was trying to fix that too, trying to find a mansion for them. Gets in there, and then people start dropping, and this woman's really abusive and humiliates people. That's the other thing is the cult. What they do is they shame you if somebody's about to leave, and they make deals, or you have to sign a contract, and you're going to break the contract. Yeah, it's all manipulation. I'm warning you. These are the telltale signs. When they manipulate people's minds into believing in this mob mentality, and it becomes a mob mentality. And this is how things like the Holocaust happen. This is how it happens, how innocent people are sucked into this. And understand, if I ever come up with any comparisons, it's not like, oh my God, he's comparing it to the Holocaust. It's just off the top of my head. It's just something that maybe you can understand, that this is what happens to people. It might not be as severe as the Holocaust. Get a knock at the door. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Jordan. Told him to come in at 25 minutes and say, are you being heavy handed? Because he was warning me about being heavy handed on these things. I said, that's his thought on it, because the young guy hasn't been through these things. And so I can understand. It's almost like feedback. Here's feedback coming from one person who's probably not the audience for this. So broke. One by one, people leave the Year to Millionaire. You know it. There's my ex all the way to the end. I had brought an interventionist in, my friend Ted, who's the head of multi-level marketing. He said, I've never heard of this woman who's saying that she was at the top of the heap and all this. Lotus believed her. Who did it cost? It cost me a fortune. And please, that's not sexist. It's just the fact. I paid for all of this hard work. I come from nothing. Built this up, handed this money over. There's no golden cage. There's no abuse. There's no control. Here you go. Here you go. Can you check that out, please? No. She went all the way. Then she finally got out. And my son, he was really little at the time. He called it. I'd say, where's mommy? Boo group. He's very low key the way he talks. He's like 75 years old, this old soul kid. He's such a sweet kid. Where's mommy? Boo group. So we called it Boo Group. So one day he goes, Mommy's getting out of Boo Group. I go, really? And I had him crawled next to her as she's on her Skype at the time, their Skype call. I'm going, is she getting out? He crawls back to me and goes, she's still staying in Boo Group. We used to call him the alien. And she did. She stayed until the very end. And even then, they humiliated her. Broke did too. She went down to San Diego to honor her contract and her word. I'm going to go down to the San Diego to this event with another multi-level marketing thing. And she shows, and they shamed her. And then that broke up. Raven sues us because all those 12, 20 people all came against her and said she ripped us off for $500,000. And it all reversed. That's the way the society works sometimes. Makes no sense to me. The people with integrity, the honesty, the people, the hardworking people, you get ripped off. And then those people, because they know how to manipulate the law, they know how to use the law, they know how to use people. We think she slept with the lawyer that would take on a case like this. There I was. In depositions, I was in the lawsuit too, because I said something on Twitter about her. You're damn right I did. You're damn right. I'm going to warn people, don't go down this path. So I'm in there, and I saw her in the parking lot. She didn't know it was me because I wasn't part of the group. She's talking to me. She's flirting with me. She realized who I was, an old Philly boy. When I got in that conference room, I stared her down. I'm like, look at me in the eye. I always say that about people who lie. Look at me. Go ahead. I dare you. Look into this person that you are hurting. Look into this person you are causing pain to his family, of which he's the patriarch. Look at this hardworking man who sacrifices, and you stole money to pay your credit card bills. She got away with it. And Broke stayed with her to the very end. Then Broke forms her own leadership role. Egomaniacal. Mommy minutes. Suddenly they're doing these mommy minutes, and Brooke's pontificating about mamas and telling mamas how to raise their children, and here's how to do it, and homeschool them, and all of these theories and theories and theories. Powerful, powerful theories that has so much passion. Narcissists have so much passion, you believe them. And sure enough, Lotus did, went right along with it. It was like her co-captain, I can't even say captain because she was always lower and wanted to be her. Then another multi-level, but then they were in soap. Then they were RX or some other thing. They were in crypto, I forget what that, I can't remember the names of all these things. Then they go on a medicine journey. She comes back from the medicine journey that this woman brought her to. That comes up with the medicine journey, says, takes $9,000 and spends it. The woman